Chapter 6 to 8, The Island's Embrace tightens. Death's shadow looms and paranoia consumes. The sun, when it finally pierced through the morning mist, brought no warmth, only a stark, brutal light to the faces of the 9 remaining guests. The preceding night, inaugurated by Marston's horrific, sudden death, had been a restless one, haunted by the unsettling pronouncements of the voice. Now, as they gathered for breakfast, a chilling confirmation of their worst fears presented itself. Another China soldier figurine was conspicuously absent from the dining room table. The whimsical childhood rhyme about 10 little soldier boys was no longer just a coincidence. It had transformed into a ghastly ticking prophecy, a macabre countdown to their own demise. Any lingering hope of this being a cruel prank or that help was on its way was brutally extinguished. The morning boat, their sole lifeline to the mainland, never materialized. As the sky darkened and a fierce storm began to brew, mirroring the tempest churning within their souls, the realization solidified into icy dread. They were completely isolated, irrevocably cut off. The chilling truth was undeniable. The architect of this terror, the ruthless executioner, was not some phantom outsider. The murderer was among them, breathing the same air, sharing their shrinking space, a wolf meticulously picking off the flock. The second blow struck swiftly, deceptively quiet. Mrs. Rogers, the house's timid and perpetually terrified cook-housekeeper, was found still and lifeless in her bed. Dr. Armstrong, clinging to medical rationale, attributed it to shock and a fragile heart, but the others exchanged glances filled with a desperate, unspoken understanding. The next verse of the ominous rhyme resonated with horrifying precision. 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. 1 overslept himself, and then there were 8. This wasn't merely death. It was a cold, calculated elimination, each demise echoing the nursery rhyme with unsettling fidelity. The terror wasn't simply about the act of dying, but the agonizing uncertainty of who would be next. And, more tormenting still, who among their dwindling number harbored such a lethal secret? With each passing hour, paranoia, a corrosive acid, began to eat away at their already fragile trust. The polite veneers they had worn upon arrival shattered completely. Accusations, initially subtle whispers, quickly escalated into sharper, more direct condemnations. Brief, desperate attempts to form alliances or share suspicions collapsed under the crushing weight of their mutual distrust. Everyone became a suspect, and in turn, everyone felt themselves to be a potential victim. The dark burdens of their past misdeeds, the very murders that the voice had laid bare, now weighed heavily upon them, distorting their perceptions and fueling their fear. Driven by a desperate, dwindling hope, they launched a frantic, exhaustive search of the island. Every desolate cove, every gnarled tree, every shadowed corner of the grand, now eerie house was scrutinized. They sought a hidden passage, a secret accomplice, a clue that would break the impossible lock. But their efforts were agonizingly futile. The stark, terrifying truth stared back at them from every empty space. There was no one else, just them. The grim realization was hammered home with brutal finality when General MacArthur, found lost in his own sorrowful contemplation by the sea, was discovered. His weary life had been extinguished by a brutal blow to the head delivered from behind. The rhyme continued its horrifying, relentless cadence. 8 little soldier boys marching in Devon. 1 said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. Now, only 7 souls remained on that isolated rock, each a prisoner of fear and suspicion. Every shadow seemed to conceal a threat. Every accidental glance held a potential accusation.
Soldier Island, once a destination of intriguing mystery, had fully transformed into a psychological battlefield. They were no longer merely guests. They were participants in a deadly game of cat and mouse, but with an agonizing twist. The mice knew the cat was one of them, but were utterly blind to its identity. The race wasn't just against time, it was a desperate, internal struggle against the unmasking of a monster before they themselves became the next tragic verse in the killer's chilling and unstoppable rhyme. The very air was thick with unspoken accusations, unarticulated fears, and the chilling certainty that no one was safe.
Paranoia is a silent killer on Soldier Island. After 2 more shocking deaths, the isolated guests are gripped by a terrifying realization. The mastermind behind this nightmare is one of their own. Trust evaporates, accusations fly, and the race to identify the unseen executioner begins. Who can you trust when death stalks every corridor? The psychological battle for survival has begun, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If you're captivated by intricate plots and the dark side of human nature, you're in the right place. Give us a like and subscribe for more gripping summaries, deep dives, and analysis of the greatest mysteries ever written. Click the notification bell so you don't miss a single clue as we continue our journey through And Then There Were None.